everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be drawing myself into screenshots of 3 of my favorite Ghibli movies. Yes, this was inspired by Love to Draw Manga. She has these series in her channel where she draws herself into anime or Disney screenshots. And I think that is such a great idea, because not only are you learning a new art style, but you're also kind of diving deeper into the fandom. So I had to try this myself with some Ghibli movies instead. By the way, I've left the links to her videos and the screenshots I will be using in this video in the description if you want to check them out. Also, brief spoiler warning, I made sure not to say any actual spoilers, but I will be talking about certain scenes and introducing the movie, so you might want to have that in mind. First is My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro is the cutest slice-of-life child movie. It doesn't really have a plot or a villain, it simply follows the lives of 2 sisters and their dad who just moved into a beautiful house in the countryside, their little adventures in the forest, and more specifically, the encounter with this big, fluffy creature who you wish you could just cuddle, although he's probably too big for that. It is a relaxing, charming, imaginative, and beautiful movie that will definitely bring a smile to your face. And you will find it nostalgic even if you haven't seen it before. Also, the music is just iconic. If you loved Ponyo, I promise you'll love this one as well. I decided to draw myself into probably the most iconic scene, when Satsuki is carrying Mei on her shoulders while waiting in the bus stop, and Totoro stops by. This scene is so funny and cute, although I kinda wish I would have kept looking and drawn myself into this one, which has to be the best scene in the whole movie. In this one, there was the perfect space for me to be in, so I got a screenshot from Satsuki in an earlier scene and edited her to be in the perfect position. I also decided to include a pet since I looked a bit lonely, and I decided to steal the dog from House Moving Castle. I think his name is Himi. I changed the colors later but kept his face exactly the same. I think it would be a really fun Easter egg to House Moving Castle. And yes, oh my god, how dare I trace? If I was simply doing a study of the style, I wouldn't trace. But since I'm drawing into an actual scene, I need to make it look convincing. That is the whole point. And frankly, this is not me trying to show how good I am at copying a style so perfectly it can look like it's from the original scene. I simply want to draw it realistically, and if tracing is going to save me 15 hours of perfectionist and frustrated drawing that will end up in a fail, then I will trace and give credit, of course, and that should be okay. I don't want to deceive anyone or steal anyone's art. I just want to have fun and entertain you guys. I always wanted to jump into movies and have adventures with the characters in them when I was a kid, and if I can kind of make that happen now, then I will. So please don't shout at me in the comments. If I was in this scene, I would probably just be a little girl waiting for someone too, and suddenly Totoro comes. I'm not sure if only Satsuki and Mei can see Totoro, but if I couldn't, I think it would be really funny if I was just looking around for the source of all the noise and giant footsteps. Himi is too lazy to actually move, but he would probably be trying to see what's going on through the corner of his eyes. For my actual character, I have brown hair and brown eyes, nothing too specific, but I did put my hair into braids quite a lot as a kid, so I thought it would be nice to give myself some playful braids with the same bubble elastics Mei wears. Then I gave myself a coat, some boots, and a schoolgirl outfit similar but different to Satsuki's. Not gonna lie, I kinda look like an older version of Mei, and I'm loving it. She just reminds me so much of my younger self, especially the way her chubby cheeks fill up when she's grumpy. Oh my god, she's just so cute. I especially got the colors from her since I love her color palette as well. All the zooming in also made me realize that in the screenshot I was using, Satsuki didn't have her hands simply opened randomly. She was actually playing with one of those finger rope thingies. I don't know what they're called, but I think that is such a cute detail that I wouldn't have noticed otherwise. I remember playing with those when I was in primary school, so I decided to keep them as a nice detail. I then merged all my layers and added the color of the background as multiply at a super low opacity so the colors fit the scene and I don't stand out too much. So here I am in my neighbor Totoro along with my dog Himi, or the dog from House Moving Castle. Next is Spirited Away. Spirited Away is another super popular Ghibli movie, probably one of the top animated movies ever as well. It follows the story of Chihiro, a young girl moving away to a different neighborhood with her parents. But they get lost and they come across an interesting building. Soon her parents decide to go investigate and are in an apparently empty town, which is full of open stalls with warm food. But the moment Chihiro turns away, she realizes something is wrong, yet when she comes back, it's too late. All I can tell you is that Chihiro is now all alone and the apparently empty town is starting to fill up. But not exactly with people. In this movie, I decided to draw myself into one of my favorite scenes, probably my favorite scene, when Chihiro is on the train with no face and the adorable creatures tagging along. This scene is just so beautiful. I love the sea and the ocean, so seeing an endless ocean you can almost walk on along with the sunset, I would give anything to visit such a magical place. Once again, I'm using Chihiro from a previous scene as my base, and this time I'm letting my hair down and giving me a couple hairpins and a similar outfit to Chihiro's, but with Mei's color palette. I really wanted to keep this design and the Totoro one similar, so it looks like me, and I think that the colors did the trick. Honestly, I don't have a clue what I'm doing in this train. It doesn't really make sense I would be there, and I feel like I'm just tagging along for no reason. But maybe I also want to help Chihiro and Haku and went with her and no face? Or maybe it was just my excuse to stare at the window and play with these guys. This movie is the definition of fantasy. The characters and settings look like a dream. Everything is just so fantastical and out of this world, but it's clearly real. Seeing Chihiro evolve from a crybaby to a kind, brave person is honestly so beautiful, especially seeing her relationship with the characters blossom. She is also quite relatable. I feel like any kid in a similar situation would have acted the same way, but this movie really embraces her fear and decides to be back with her parents, helping her overcome these problems rather than presenting us with a stereotypical child protagonist who is already brave and fearless and good at everything they do. Even if you aren't really into fantasy, this movie is again perfect for a good time and especially eye candy. The way the painterly background blends seamlessly with the simplicity of the characters is gorgeous and really impressive. To finish it off again, I merged all of the layers, added some red from the background onto the shape, and lowered its opacity as multiply. Like the previous scene, this will make me blend in better with the train and look more like I actually belong there, which I still don't, but you know what? Who cares? If you notice, Chihiro's hair and clothes and skin all have this greenish olive undertone, so I wanted to make mine reddish to make us a little bit different and so I look like I am in the right scene. I also selected my feet and lowered the opacity since they are behind one of the transparent people in the train. It's such a small detail, but it really makes it 10 times more realistic and brings the whole illustration together. So here I am in probably my favorite Ghibli movie. I love how I came out, and I don't know, I just think it came out a little bit more realistic than the last one. I don't know why, but yeah, I really like it. And last, but definitely not least, the Castle of Cagliostro. The Castle of Cagliostro is a movie about this famous thief, Lupin III, who I think was a pre-existing character who already has his series or movies about him, but you don't need to see them to understand the story. He and his partner in crime steal a ton of money, but turns out it's fake. So they go investigate to the country of Cagliostro, but they soon get involved with a princess who's trying to escape, a policeman who is willing to do anything to capture Lupin, and whatever these creatures are. It becomes this really fun action-adventure anime movie. The animation is simple yet effective, the art is gorgeous as always, the characters are really cool and entertaining, and it's basically the perfect movie if you want to have a fun, exciting time. As to the drawing, I basically picked a screenshot with Fujioka and the princess. There was the perfect amount of space for me to be there, so I took the princess from a previous scene and used it as my base. If I was in this movie, I would probably be another person, kind of like Fujioka, so like a maid in the castle who's actually trying to break out the princess or steal the fake money or something. I'm drawing myself with a basic brush with no pressure, since there is no line variation in the line art. In this scene, Fujioka is trying to help the princess escape, so I think maybe I would be involved too. I'm wearing the same dress as the maid version of Fujioka, but in dark blue, so I blend in with the background. Having colors that are too bright or a different hue to the color of the background will make me stand out quite a lot, so this way I can just be in the shadows. I actually didn't know this was a Ghibli movie, but it was directed by Hayao Miyazaki. I'm so sorry to everyone, I just made cringe for that pronunciation. So I'm gonna count it as one. This was actually the first anime movie I ever watched, and fun fact, according to Wikipedia, it's also the first movie Hayao Miyazaki directed. I remember I got it as a Christmas present when I was quite young, and after that I would watch it every time we were in a car trip, again and again, until I got bored of it and forgot about its existence. I decided to rewatch it a couple weeks ago, and it was very nostalgic and fun. The movie has super minimal shading, so I only shaded my hair and the dress. Then I merged all the layers together and filled in the shape with a dark blue, which I turned to multiply and lowered its opacity. I am behind both the princess and Fujioka, so being in shadow makes sense and helps me look more in the scene. And I'm done with the final screenshot. This one was the easiest and the quickest, but honestly, I think it came out the most realistic. Like, it actually looks like I was in that scene before. So, this is me in the Castle of Cagliostro. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. Yes, I see you. Do it now. Thank you. And do yourself a favor and make sure you watch all of these movies. And can I just say, like, the amount of compliments I've given to Studio Ghibli in this video? Like, if you're not convinced enough to go watch the movies, I don't know, like, you're hopeless, you know? Also, Studio Ghibli, you better sponsor me. Because, like, I've been giving you free promotion for, like, 15 minutes straight? Yeah, you're welcome. Just joking. Thank you for the amazing movies. And after you've made sure to watch all of them, which one is your favorite and why? And I'd also love to know which character you'd be if you were in these movies. Like, would you be a villain or like a hero or the protagonist or just a random side character that's tagging along, which was basically me in every single one of the movies. I was just like the third wheel.
Or the fourth wheel. Or the fifth wheel.
I don't know. But yeah, I was just there for like no reason. Still pretty fun. By the way, I wish I had fitted more movies into this video, so I might have to do a part 2 soon. So you better request some movies in the comments. Anyways, have a beautiful day. Don't forget to make some art, and I'm gonna go watch Ponyo now. Bye!